Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to be talking K-beauty and in particular K-beauty foundations. I am pretty sure that you have definitely seen one of these flying around online, and that is the Tirtir Mask Fit Red Cushion Foundation. It's been everywhere, and in this video we're going to be taking a deep dive into this foundation, but we're also going to be comparing it to one of Tirtir's newer foundations, and it's this one, which is the Mask Fit Aura foundation. I have really been putting these foundations to the test, and today I want to share all of my results with you. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, then please do keep on watching. You are probably wondering why it's taken me so long to get this foundation, and being honest, I've seen it flying around online everywhere, and when something goes viral, it makes me kind of not want it. I know, I'm so weird like that. However, I saw one of my friends who has an amazing channel on this platform, Mona. She actually reviewed both of these foundations and she really influenced me. I will link her channel down below. She has amazing reviews. I'd obviously heard all about the red cushion foundation, but in her video, Mona really loved the silver cushion foundation. So I thought that I would pick them up and have a little try. These foundations have people divided online, and I really think it's down to how they are applying this foundation. Prior to seeing Mona's review, I'd only ever seen this online, and I guess one of the things that put me off buying this was that it was really hard to get over here. I got mine from Yes Style. It did take a little while to come. I think if you're in America, it's a little bit easier. I think you can get it on Amazon. Both do different things. So this here, the red cushion foundation, let's take a quick look at that because that's the most popular and the most viral of the two. So this one comes in 40 shades, and for that you get 18 grams of product. This promises to give you a semi-matte finish with high coverage. It has SPF 40. It contains ingredients such as white water lily extract, hibiscus extract, and it claims to keep your skin moisturized and nourished. And it does claim to give you a very natural looking finish. Now with the Aura foundation, this claims to give you lighter coverage. Now this one is only available in 20 shades, but again, you get 18 grams of product. This claims to give you a light dewy finish and is much more skin-like than the red cushion foundation. Also has SPF, but SPF 30, contains hyaluronic acid, white birch juice and algae extract to keep the skin moisturized. So they're the difference between the two. So this has high coverage, this has low coverage, this claims to be more semi-matte on the satin side, and this claims to be dewy. So let's kick off with some swatches. I got the shades 23N in both of these foundations, but they are not the same shades. One is fine shade-wise, which is the red one, but the silver one is just off. It's just too light for me. So let's swatch them and have a look at them side by side. So over here you have the red cushion foundation in 23N, and over here you have the Aura foundation, the silver, in 23N. And I guess it's my fault that I thought that I would be getting the same shade because they have the same shade names. However, if we look at the amount of shades available, there are 40 available in the red cushion foundation, but there's only 20 available in the silver. So that's my fault for not doing proper research on the shades. But I guess there's so many of us that get confused when shades have the same name in different products. So we just assume that we're going to be that shade. So as you can see, this silver one is very light, and honestly I do think that has affected my view on the foundation. This one here has been a perfect match for me. There is one very important thing to note about these foundations, and that is that they have to be applied in a certain way. I decided to do quite a lot of research on how best to apply this product because I have seen some absolute disasters online and I wanted to avoid that. So one creator that has plenty of videos on K-beauty and cushion foundations would be Robert Welsh, and I really trust his advice, and he has an amazing video which teaches you how to apply these foundations. So I'm going to link Robert's video down below so that you can watch it for yourself. But if you are thinking of investing in a foundation like this, I do suggest you watch that video because his advice is absolutely spot on. So as you will probably know, it comes with this little applicator. And as Robert mentions in his video, people are going wrong because they are just applying too much with this applicator, or they are deciding to use their own applicator, which just doesn't give you the intended result. So the first thing he teaches you in this video is how to hold this puff. So he suggests you leave your middle finger free, put your two fingers underneath the little strap and hold it like this, so you've got an even distribution of weight when you are pressing the foundation into your skin. So holding the pad, exactly how Robert explained, has really helped me to evenly distribute the product, and I've had no issues with the application. Then you have the foundation over here, and it's such a unique product. I've never tried anything like this before in my life, so this was an absolutely new experience for me. So it feels really, really spongy. Then you have this area at the side. So what Robert tells you to do is to press lightly, very lightly into here. And he says that sometimes on your applicator, it looks like you haven't got anything on your applicator. So because people don't think there's anything on the applicator, they go back in and they load up the pad and then they go in on their face. But there's a couple of things you need to do. So I've just pressed in there and you can see that there is product on that pad. He suggests to go in and maybe tap onto this side just to kind of even it out. So you can see there, that is still a lot of product. Robert is so right when he says that sometimes the pad can look absolutely bare, but it still has product in there. The best way to go about using this foundation is start little and add more if you need to. I mean, that goes without saying for most makeup products, I would say, but for this one, definitely. The best thing is to just tap it over there and then go in on the face. So can you see there how much has come out? And we're just going to tap and spread. And you can see that it's not deposited an insane amount of product like I've seen in some tutorials where people are literally just wearing a mask. So I'm going to go in again. I'm just going to pat it out over here and then go in again. And you're basically just pushing it into the skin. And you can see it's not cakey. It's really, really natural looking. So I'll finish off this side of my face. Okay, so this half of my face is done and not done. I'm looking a little bit off because I haven't done my concealer yet, but as you can see, it is so unbelievably natural and I have used barely any product there. I think that it gives a really nice natural satin finish. I don't find it to be matte at all. That's not been my experience. Is it what you expected? Let's get it on the rest of the face. So there we go. We have both sides done now with the foundation. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and honestly, I thought I would hate this foundation. I had looked at the reviews, I'd looked at people applying this and thought that is so far from what I like in a foundation because it looked heavy, it looked like a mask, it didn't look in any way luminous or natural, and I really think it's all about your application. So thank you to Robert Welsh. I know he'll never ever watch this, but thank you to Robert Welsh for teaching us how to apply this foundation and how to get the best out of it. I've still got to finish the rest of my makeup, but let's have a look at a quick before and after. Let me just complete the rest of my makeup and then we'll have a look at the silver foundation. We're back and makeup has gone on beautifully over the top of this foundation. No matter how many times I've worn this foundation, it has never faltered. And let's do a little transfer test. There you go, nothing on there at all. Try it again somewhere else. There you go. No transfer, nothing. It's really great. If you use this foundation properly, it's going to give you a solid medium to full coverage without looking cakey. Nothing about this foundation looks cakey. And I know you're probably thinking, well, show it me in the daylight. Well, I will. So I've got various bits of footage to show you out in the daylight. So this is from the first day that I wore it. And like I have today, I went in handy, but I just think it's given a really natural coverage to the skin. It gives me such a beautiful glow to the skin. So this is footage partway through the day and in complete natural daylight. And I just love how my skin looks here. I haven't powdered it. I have not powdered it today either, as I don't think you need to. And I just love how healthy and luminous and beautiful this makes my skin look. And here is the foundation after 12 hours. And although it has faded a bit and I'm looking a little bit more shiny, I think this stands up absolutely beautifully. The longevity is fantastic. It has been a very, very consistent foundation. You know, sometimes you wear foundations and they can look really good one day and then awful the next. And I kind of expected that with this foundation, but actually every single time I've worn it, it's looked exactly the same and it's performed exactly the same. It's lasted all day for a good 12 hours with no problem at all. I had seen reports that this oxidized. I've not had any oxidizing with this, not that I've noticed. So I'm really happy with the shade. I think the shade is spot on for my skin at the moment. So I think it retails differently in different places, but I picked mine up for about 17 euros. So let's move on now to the Aura foundation, to the silver option. When I saw Mona's review of this, I had really high hopes, but I think that, as I've mentioned previously, the shade has thrown me off a little bit because it's so light. So do bear that in mind for this whole review. I do think that if something isn't quite your shade, then it will prevent you from loving it. But here is some footage of me applying it in the makeup room, and I apply it in just the same way. I think that it gives a very, very light amount of coverage. So you don't get the coverage straight off the bat that you do with the red cushion foundation. I think that it does a great job at evening out my skin tone. If you can see past how pale it is for my skin, it is quite luminous. However, I wouldn't say that this is a dewy foundation. It's never been dewy on me, no matter how many times I've worn this. So just showing you some footage out in the daylight. So it looks really, really nice on the skin, but I think that it's sat into my smile lines a little bit more. It kind of sat a little bit funny on my chin, and it did enhance my pores a little bit. Now, I do think that on this day, with this wear test footage, that I applied probably too much. But here's same day footage and just a couple of hours later, and you can see there that it's not settled brilliantly on my face, but I will take responsibility for that because I think that I applied too much that day. It had the same longevity as the red foundation, so there was no issues there. So here is the Aura foundation on a different day, and I think it has sat much better on my skin that day because I didn't use as much. However, I still felt like I needed a little bit more coverage. The coverage is really light with this foundation, and because it's so light, you feel like you need to build it up, but then when you build it up, it just gets a little bit heavy. So I have not quite found the right way to use this foundation yet. As I said, I do think that A big factor in this is the shade. Now, it doesn't look too bad when I've got the rest of my makeup done, but it's still not very flattering. I think sometimes a foundation that's too light can actually make you worse than when a foundation is too dark, because it just kind of washes you out. Absolutely no transfer with either of these foundations, which I think is amazing. I do think that these foundations are worth looking into. I think you get a decent amount of product. I think they come in these really beautiful handy compacts, which are really great for on-the-go application. I don't think you need a lot of product to get great coverage. They feel nourishing, they feel barely there. You know, some liquid foundations can feel a bit sticky and tacky. These dry down and they are quite self-setting, and once they've set, there's no budging them. They are very transfer resistant, very comfortable, and they leave the skin looking beautiful. Oh, and one thing that I forgot to mention is that these are actually available in mini size, so you can get a smaller version if you don't want to commit to the full version. Negatives for me would probably be the fact that they have SPF in. I am not the biggest fan of SPF in foundation because I want the option to wear it out on an evening. So this, for me, this would be the absolute perfect foundation to use on a night out, but I won't wear it on a night out because of the SPF and the likelihood that there will be flashback. But that is just a personal preference. You might look for SPF in foundations, and I guess out and about on a daily basis, it's always a good thing to have that added protection. I think the major negative is how you apply it. I think that you do need to spend a little bit of time getting used to the applicator. I think once you've used it a few times, you do get quicker at it. I do think that using the pad can be a little bit tricky when it comes to, you know, the intricate areas of the face, so around the eyebrows and around the nose. And I think the only other negative is that it might be hard to come by wherever you live. So I expect it to take a little bit of time to ship. If you are ordering from the UK or Ireland, you know, you're not going to get it next day. But all in all, this has been an amazing experience, and I'm really glad that I decided to pick it up in the end. So thank you, Mona, for influencing me. K-Beauty have some incredible products. Some of them might just be different to what you're used to. Definitely different to what I'm used to. I'm used to using a liquid or a stick foundation. So this is brand new territory, but I think if you can learn how to apply it properly, you can get an amazing result, because I am absolutely delighted and over the moon with this foundation, and it's definitely one that I will continue to use. So here we are at the end of the video. Don't forget to let me know what you think of these foundations. Have you tried this cushion foundation, or have you tried any cushion foundations? If you have, let us know in the comments what you think of them and what your experience has been. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I so appreciate you being here with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next one. But until then, take care and bye for now.